In there, I was just crying. I just couldn't believe this was happening to me. I was praying. I was just like, this is unreal. It's not, this can't be real. My dad has been no help. He doesn't want to help. I should have listened to my mum.
Hi, good evening everyone. I don't usually do videos, but this is a very serious topic. This is my daughter Tareya. She's now 22 years old. She went on holiday for a week with her friend to Jamaica back in October 2024. So this is the girls. This is Genevieve, Tareya's friend. They've been friends for about 8 years. She asked Tareya if she wanted to go to Jamaica for a week because her boyfriend was out there. I tried to encourage her not to go, because she'd never been on holiday by herself. But she was turning 21, so there's only so much she's going to listen to her mum about. So on the 13th of October, they went to Jamaica. I tried to encourage Tareya to get her own accommodation because she didn't know these boys from nowhere. This was Genevieve's boyfriend of 2 years. She'd been dating this boy, supposedly from Milton Keynes, for 2 years. She was told his name was Tony. Now again, I told my daughter to get her own accommodation, but she wouldn't listen.
This whole entire story is trending right now in the UK about a daughter who has been convicted in Jamaica, and now she's doing everything she can by getting help. And we're going to dive into the story. Now, this part really does intrigue me, how she's telling us that she did everything she can to make sure her daughter didn't go, make sure her daughter got her own accommodation, but all in while you are a single mom. And a lot of women don't want to admit, but the fact that you are a single mom and you raised a daughter whilst being a single mom was already the failure that was growing right in front of you. You already created a broken home, and this was always going to lead there. Boys that you don't want her to be around, going places you don't want her to go, and never listening to you.
This is supposed to be Tony. But his name's not Tony. His name is Uriah Gordon. And this is his Jamaican cousin, LaJean, we think. So again, this is Uriah Gordon, or should we say Tony, as the girls knew him as. Now Jenny was seeing this boy for 2 years. Imagine, 2 years. So Uriah paid for Jenny's ticket because obviously she thought it was a boyfriend. And I paid for Tareya's ticket because she was turning 21. So this is where it all began. They went to Jamaica, 13th of October. The boys picked them up from the airport and took them to St Mary, where they had this prestigious Airbnb. I'm talking jacuzzi, swimming pool, everything. I'm still trying to tell my daughter, get your own Airbnb. She's like, Mum, it's fine. And obviously because, the artist TJ, he was doing a music video next door, the guy that does Drift. So she's not going to listen to her mum, is she? But I still tried to encourage it, but she did her own thing. So, obviously the next day they're settling in. The boys have taken them everywhere. Duns River, YS Falls, everywhere. Rafting, where you get the rub down and everything. They did everything, took them everywhere. Fancy meals, everything you can think of. But they had an agenda. So let's fast forward to the last day. Bearing in mind they went for 1 week. Before my daughter went to Jamaica, I spoke to her clearly and I told her, do not be carrying nothing from Jamaica. Don't even think about it. Anyway, Jenny's boyfriend, 2 years. He's saying to her, oh, will you bring these trainers back for my cousin? So Tareya said no, but they pulled on her heartstrings. So obviously she agreed in the end. So
it's fascinating to hear how the single mom is talking about the guy pulled her heartstrings, when in the beginning, it was evidently clear that she was rebellious, doesn't listen to anyone, does what she wants to do, and doesn't care about the consequences that may come. So it's not that the guy pulled her heartstrings, it's that she was rebellious because she was raised in a broken home by a single mom. That's actually the most consistent part about this whole entire story. That is the most consistent character trait that we see about her. So it's interesting how she flips the switch and makes it seem as if he convinced her, when really no one could, even you as her own mother couldn't even convince her to listen to you. It's clear it was always a choice that she wanted to make, not something that he forced her to make.
Jenny had 5 pairs and Tareya had 3 pairs. So this is where the nightmare began. The boys dropped the girls to the airport. They've gone into the airport. They've not gone from no security, no sniffer dogs. All they've done is gone into the TUI line. So they got pulled out of the line after not being through no security, no sniffer dogs. Remember what I just said to you. And they've asked for the passports. So obviously they're a bit shocked what's going on here. The officers have opened up the suitcases and then pulled out the probe, picked up a pair of shoes and obviously swabbed it. And it's come back positive for what? You know what? I don't need to say it on here and get banned. Anyway, the girls were taken into custody. They were held at the Cambridge police station in St James, Montego Bay. Then at about 11:30 that night, I got a phone call from the British Embassy. I thought I was going to die. Anyway, I flew out there about 4 days later.
So let me get this straight. The daughter who was in a relationship with a drug dealer didn't know that he was a criminal, didn't know he was doing criminal activities, didn't know his real name, but somehow found herself in Jamaica with this guy doing criminal activities she still didn't know? I'll be very honest with you, I don't buy it. It's not even like they're even from Jamaica. They are from the UK, and somehow this just happened by itself. And you're telling me this criminal was able to hide his criminal activities for 2 years? I don't buy it. I honestly believe that she wants us to buy it because she wants us to be sympathetic of the reality that her daughter's about to face.
And it took me 19 days to get my daughter out of jail. She was in jail for 19 days. The conditions of the jail were horrendous, as you can imagine. Concrete floor, full of women in the same predicament. While they were in jail, I provided food, water, pads, anything that I was allowed to send in. On the 8th of November, Teresa was released. So I bailed her out. The only reason she got out was because my father is Jamaican. So now the girls are on bail. The first court hearing was, I think it was the 18th of December. In total, these girls went to court 11 times. This is how long this was prolonged. It was just a long, unnecessary experience. Sometimes my daughter's lawyer didn't turn up, many times. Sometimes Jenny's lawyer didn't turn up. Jenny didn't turn up one time. So it was just long. So the girls have been in Jamaica for a total of 16 months. Bearing in mind they had the serious hurricane. While my daughter's obviously been out there, she's met a boy. You know, she's been there for 16 months. Sometimes there's no electric, no current, maybe there's nothing to do. She met a boy and she got pregnant.
The story tells itself. It gets worse the more we listen to it. The reality is single moms raise single moms. It's an endless cycle with degeneracy only raising degeneracy. You would think that she would actually want to be responsible after facing harsh consequences in a harsh reality and even in a harsh environment. But it doesn't change people's trait. It doesn't change people's pattern, and it doesn't change people's nature. This is why I say people don't change, they only reveal who they are, just like this daughter did.
So obviously this is not the right timing at all. It's not the right time to be having a baby. Not in these conditions, and not in... There's a serious court case going on, but you know. So fast forward, October 2025. My daughter's in slow labour. In the hospital, but the hospital is about to be destroyed by this serious hurricane. So she's sent back in the slow labour. So she's survived the hurricane, the eye of the storm. She's got the footage and everything. Then 3 days later, she gives birth to her baby, beautiful baby, in a taxi. No pain relief, no nothing. So a beautiful, healthy baby girl. My daughter's healthy. Everything's fine. They've had to go back to Black River, that the worst place hit with a hurricane, were one of them. No electricity, no water. There's still no electricity to this day. So let's fast forward now. January 2026. I'm feeling a bit positive. They've gone into court. They got found guilty. As a family, we're absolutely devastated. You can't imagine how I feel as a mother. And these girls was not represented properly at all. We've got so much evidence that was not presented in court. I mean, where's the proceeds of crime? Where's the phone records? Where's the bank statements? And also, someone used my daughter's phone while she was in custody and rang a British number. So to me, that sounds like they were the scapegoats while the real shipment went through.
It doesn't matter what way you want to look at it, the daughter is guilty as she willingly participated to smuggle in drugs. It's also interesting what the mother says. It's corrupted. The whole entire thing is corrupted. But wasn't it your daughter who was willing to be a part of corruption? What I never understand is if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. It's very simple as that. See, a lot of these females, they've been coddled a lot, okay? A lot of black females have been coddled and they think they can get away with things until you don't. And now we want to think of every excuse in the world to make up for the choices that they made. Now you want to make every excuse in the world as a mother for all the wrong choices that you've made. Is it not clear to you that you failed and she failed herself and now failing your granddaughter? There's nothing more corrupt than being raised in a single mom household and having your daughter now raising another daughter in a single mom household. The corruption was already there. It was planted from the beginning. You got pregnant, not from when she went in prison, not from when she was in a relationship, and not when she got pregnant.
Corruption at its finest. So the next court hearing is early March for sentencing. We've been advised that these girls are looking a minimum of 6 years. A minimum of 6 years for something they've not done. 6 years. So obviously I want to provide a barrister from England to take over to Jamaica because we need to appeal with all the evidence that we've got. So the girls were not represented properly in court. They did not get a fair trial. There was no jury. So I've got a barrister at this side that has looked at the evidence and she can see and she's ready to come over and do the appeal. This is clearly some kind of setup and it's clearly something that happens often with young girls. As a mother, I want to get this out there to show women that you've got to really talk to your daughters. I'm talking seriously, not just on a small level, on a deep level, because this sounds like some new romance scam. I cannot sit back and watch my daughter go to jail for something she's not done. This has been the hardest 16 months of my life already. And bearing in mind, now she's got a baby. The barrister has to come over to clear my daughter's name, clear both the girls' names. This is a setup.
This should be proof how a lot of black females, a lot of black single moms are actually very coddled today, as she doesn't want to take accountability for not only failing as a mother, but failing even your granddaughter. How she doesn't want to accept that your daughter was a willing participant in criminal activities and surrounding herself with criminals, wanting to travel with criminals. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a setup. It was something that she wanted to do. But now, because you don't want your daughter to face the consequences that she put herself in because you've been coddled all your life, like every other single mom out there have been coddled and never actually want to look at the truth, now you want to make her into a victim.
So we're doing this fundraiser because we need to obviously provide legal assistance in Jamaica because we can't rely on the lawyers that these girls have had. They've taken the money and not done a good job. And now they're looking 6 years. This can't happen. I cannot sit back and watch this happen. My middle daughter has not seen her sister in 16 months. I can't. It's been so much heartache, so much pain. I refuse to allow this to happen. I'm not going to allow this to happen. I'm going to fight. I cannot sit back and allow my daughter to go to jail for something she's not done. My heart can't take it. The pain that I've been through. I can't explain it, guys. But what I need you to do is, I need this to go viral. I need to share. You need to share. We need to get it to media. I just need your help. Like, comment, repost, boost, everything we can do to get traction on this. We need people to see this because this can't happen to another girl. There's other girls reaching out to me in my DMs that are saying the same thing happened to them. They didn't go through no security. The same thing. We have to stop this from happening to our daughters. We have to stop these boys from taking advantage of our daughters.
I honestly cannot stand this single mom and any single mom that's like this. The reality is, allegedly, she was a willing participant. This is what I believe. I don't believe anything that she's saying, and I don't believe anyone took advantage of her. Anyone lied to her. I honestly believe, allegedly, that she willingly chose to be with a drug dealer, willingly chose to go to Jamaica to do criminal activities and got rewarded for it with everything that was happening in Jamaica, and thought that she would get away with it because people have done it before, so why can't she do it? I know people are going to say what I'm about to say is probably diabolical, very harsh, where's the sympathy? But I have none. The reality is, I think the best thing for that daughter and the single mom is for her to be locked behind bars and put away in prison and learn the hard way. People have to learn through consequences. You cannot keep being coddled in society because you chose to make the wrong choice. Whether she's guilty or not, I think it's completely insane that we have a single mom wanting us to raise her daughter money and help another single mom household. When will the cycle end? When will black people actually say enough is enough? Deal with your reality, deal with your consequences. But she knew coming to the internet, there's going to be so many females out there who probably are going to feel sorry for her and probably feel like she's a victim in all of this. But I don't. I think this is a great reality check for her and her daughter. and it's time that they lived in it.
And to these horrible little boys that are grooming these girls, destroying families, I'm telling you now, you think there's no God, he's coming for you.
So the next video is going to be the daughter who is going to be on a phone call with a TikTok creator called Miss R Fabulous, explaining what went down and her perspective and giving us more details with the whole entire situation.
They stopped you before even like searching your suitcase.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I gave passports because I couldn't lift it. The man lifted my suitcase and looked in my suitcase and then pinched, and then the woman pinched the bottom and the shoe went on to very tested back for illegal substances.
Okay.
After that. And then they ripped up all the shoes and obviously it was filled with illegal substances. And in there I was just crying. I just couldn't believe this was happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying. I was just like, this is unreal. This can't be real.
Yeah.
And after that, we went to jail still in St. James, but it was like it wasn't in the city of Montego Bay. It was called Cambridge. So we was in there. We met another woman that was from England that was in there for the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we met her and she had been in there for like the last 3 months. But it was hidden in food items, she said, like in Glasgow and oats and hot chocolate. Because the next day was a holiday, so the British Embassy came like maybe on the Thursday and we spoke to him, and then on the Friday the arresting officers came and they charged us.
What did they charge? Did they charge you for? What did they charge you for?
We got 4 charges: so drug trafficking, drug dealing, drug conspiracy, and possession of drugs.
How long did you stay in jail for?
I stayed in jail for 19 days.
And what about your friend?
Well, she was supposed to get bail with me. Like, my mum came over to Jamaica and started out the paperwork and got us like,
I don't believe anything that she said. I don't believe that she was as distraught as she's describing she was. See, this is another reason why I believe that she is allegedly not innocent. This is another reason why I believe that she is not a victim. Innocent people behave a certain way, and you cannot take for what people say. You only can take behavior, patterns, and what people actually do. Now, for someone that was innocent, when she got out of jail after her mother and her family did everything they could to bail her out, even though they told her not to do what she did, she went back to the streets and got pregnant. An innocent person wouldn't do that. An innocent person will, one, be grateful for everything their family did, that they will make sure they're on their best behavior because they know this wasn't something that was done intentionally. They feel guilty and now want to do everything they can to get themselves out of this situation and maybe even try and do more than they should. She didn't do any of that. What she did is what she does best. Break rules, be reckless, and listen to nobody, not care about any of the consequences until it's too late. And that's what we're seeing, a pattern of behavior. I don't believe what people say, I watch what they do, and her actions are proving it quite clear to me. Whatever happens is what happens. Although the reason why we are seeing them talk the way they talk, and you got the mother on the internet, is because they're panicking. 6 years of her life is going to flash before our eyes, and it may just be in prison. So what we're seeing is panic, not actually feeling guilty for your behavior, not actually even caring about your behavior, but only the fact that you may spend the rest of your life in Jamaica behind bars in the worst conditions.
It's a long process because the courts have to get our passports, so that had to happen, and it was just a long process. But my mum would have to go into detail about that because I didn't do that, obviously. When the officers that came to collect us taken us to the court, the officer, when she said that Genevieve's mum had rejected the bail,
okay,
she has to stay until the bail. So it started out. So Mom already started it out, and then And mum just rejected it like out of nowhere, just started to act up. I don't know. Mum said.
Okay.
So after I came out of jail, I rang her mum and I asked her why. I said, why? Like, you've left her in that horrible, like, it was horrible. We had to sleep on concrete and to have a bit in there just squished up. There was not enough room.
Okay.
So yeah, I asked her and her mum said, her mum was just like blaming it on me and saying she was upset. But the thing is, at this point in time, why are you putting the blame on me? Like, we both have accountability in this. Like, obviously, we didn't know there was drugs in the shoes.
What I'm gathering here is the daughter's friend's mother is blaming her for everything that conspired whilst they were in Jamaica. Now, I say they are both to blame and both as stupid as each other. Although I understand the mum's perspective. The mum is seeing it as clear as day for what it is. It was you who was dating a criminal. It was you who wanted to go to Jamaica. And it was you who, after everything, got pregnant. So it's like, if it wasn't for who you was around, then maybe my daughter would have never been in that position. But the reality is, her daughter was always going to be around other degenerates. That's why she had her as a friend. So that was never going to change. But the mum is almost so gobsmacked at the whole entire situation. It's as if these single moms or these mothers don't even know their own children. That's the worst part about it. Is that they come online and act as if you don't know that your daughters are reckless. And the truth is, I believe they know. But they don't mind them being reckless as long as they're not breaking the law, until they do. And now you want to act as if you didn't raise the criminal. Really, a lot of these single moms don't actually want to look like the real failures in society. They don't want to be the ones to be blamed for raising a broken household, when really they did.
But we both agreed to take him, not because we thought we was doing something nice, just doing a favour.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I understand that she was upset, but I wasn't the person to blame. And then I heard that Genevieve got bailed out the week after, a couple of days after.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't hear from her. It's not like she messaged me and said, hi, sorry, I've got out like any person would, because you just... And it was just... She was like, yeah, and it was just a very funny conversation. I just felt the energy was off. So it's like, because her mum put a division there, it's like she just went on that side, because she wants somebody to blame. But we're in this together, why are you putting the blame on me? Like, I'm not the one that put you in this situation. And her talking about, like, my dad has been no help. Like, I think it's out of order how she's come and spoke about my dad. My dad, he doesn't want to help. I spoke to him a couple of times, and he just wants somebody to do. Like, again, prideful people. I should have listened to my mum.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was trying to be nice, and I felt you never feel obligated to do something because somebody's been nice to you.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt that time. And now I've learnt my lesson, because I've been here for 16 months. It's not nice.
Mm-hmm.
Away from home. I'm the oldest sister. I set an example to my sisters. Mm-hmm. My mum is a single mother. I've got my younger sister's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mum relied on help from me with her, because it can be hard. And I would never put my family in a certain situation like this. I would never jeopardize my freedom for some quick money, because quick money, it's not good money.
It's as if she's speaking with two tongues. In one instance, she will talk about how she doesn't want to put her mom through anything, as she's already a single mom and she's raising another daughter who's autistic, and that a lot of the burden goes to her. But in the other instance, you still got pregnant. Don't you think that is putting your mom through more things? So she's the biggest hypocrite and is doing anything to make it seem as if she is this great daughter who made a great mistake. When really, you're a terrible daughter who made choices that now you have to deal with the consequences. That's the consistency I see. Not anything that she's saying and not anything that the mother is saying.